Hello sports fans and welcome to week 2 of Inside the Eagles Nest. As always, I'm Kevin Tosh. Alongside me here, Justin Hall. And Justin, 1 week in the books, Franklin County comes out with a 35-0 win over Western Valley District foe in a non-district matchup against William Fleming.
Yeah, Eagles came out hot, Kevin. Coach Jones trying to blindside us there at the beginning of the game, saying that Christian Witcher is coming out at quarterback. I know I was shocked. A lot of fans were shocked as well to see Christian come out there.
That's right. I was shocked, but I shouldn't have been, because I had an interview with him. It might have been the day of the scrimmage, before the scrimmage against Brookville, and he said that Ethan Adams, Braxton Wheeler, and Christian Witcher were going to play quarterback. We saw Adams and Wheeler in the scrimmage, didn't see Christian Witcher, so it was a surprise, but it shouldn't have been to us. But he played phenomenal at quarterback in replace of Kyle Ellis.
Yeah, there were things going around saying that Christian had never taken a snap in live format before, not even a scrimmage. And for him to come out there, no turnovers, did a great job. We were commenting before the telecast. He did a great job selling a lot of the fakes and the misdirection. All around, A+ job for Christian Witcher.
That's right. He went 3 for 3 for 33 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a pretty good average to start the season off.
Oh, there's Peyton Manning wishes he can go 100% with 2 touchdowns. So, great job by Christian Witcher.
Franklin County did a good job running their style of offense, though. They ran 53 plays from the line of scrimmage, 50 of them on the ground. Those 3, like we said, were in the air by Christian Witcher, 2 of them for touchdowns. 1 was to Hakeem Alderman on a fly pattern up the middle, just got behind the secondary, and just a great play there.
Yeah, he was wide open. Christian Witcher put it right there, right where you can catch it. There was no way that it couldn't have been a touchdown.
And really the run that Franklin County run early in the game set up their first touchdown pass, just a short 2-yard touchdown pass to Ryan Wade. Also wide open. All he had to do was a short pitch and catch.
Yeah, William Fleming, we said last week that speed was going to be the one that kills them, and it was going to help them. And really, they overran on a lot of the plays when Franklin County went out to the edge. And on those 2 touchdown passes, they definitely bit.
So rounding out the scoring for Franklin County, Chance Tyree, 1-yard touchdown run. They open up the scoring for Franklin County. Then the 2-yard touchdown reception by Ryan Wade, a 29-yard touchdown reception by Hakeem Alderman, 11-yard touchdown run by Devin Clements. We saw him a lot near the goal line in that I formation, traditional Franklin County offense.
Yeah, he's bigger than the rest of the backs. Still has great vision to go through there to get around the blocks. Really, I can't tell you a single Eagles player that didn't play great against Fleming.
That's right. And Jonathan Alt, his big fullback, talked a lot about him last year, getting to play a little bit more offense. 5-yard touchdown to round out the scoring for Franklin County. Richardson 3 for 3 on extra points, and Saunders 2 for 2. So they alternated extra points just to get them each some playing time. Franklin County 5 for 5 on PATs. As far as rushing goes, Chance Tyree led the team, 17 carries for 92 yards. Devin Clements 10 carries for 62 yards. Jalen Gill 11 carries for 35 yards. Jonathan Altis 8 carries for 32 yards. EJ Harris 1 carry for 5 yards. And Christian Witcher at quarterback 2 carries, 27 yards, including 1 great option play.
Oh yeah, I know it says we're saying a lot about Christian Witcher here, but really, he played a phenomenal game. It was truly inspiring to see him come out there and lead the team to the victory.
Well, and we were talking about last week what it was going to take for Franklin County to win is somebody to step up at the quarterback position. I think Christian Witcher, at least in the first game, has definitely done that. If you look, Franklin County had 17 first downs, 50 plays from the line of scrimmage, 253 yards, 5 penalties for 38 yards. They had 1 fumble, but they didn't lose it. So a good night by Franklin County on the offensive end, over 30 minutes time of possession.
Yeah, and that's out of, 48 minutes of play. So for only William Fleming to have the ball for 18 minutes says a lot.
That also says a lot about the defensive side of the ball, which we'll talk a little bit about now. And I think you have to start off with safety. Bubba Henderson, he had 2 interceptions throughout his career as varsity players last season. He already has 2 in the first game.
He was a ball hawk in the backfield. Whether it was William Fleming throwing the ball or if it was the runner coming out the edge, Bubba was everywhere and threw a lot of devastating hits as well.
That's right. Trey Sawyer is the quarterback for William Fleming. Telegraphed a lot of his passes. That still doesn't mean the pass is going to be intercepted. 2 great interceptions by Henderson right over top of E.T. Morrisow, the star player for William Fleming. So great job there. We also had E.J. Harris had an interception, and he returned that 17 yards. So great job by the junior cornerback Franklin County had one kickoff return for 16 yards. That was Thomas Church to open up the game, and E.J. Harris returned one punt for 5 yards. Franklin County still having a little bit of troubles fielding the punts, but you didn't have to in a 35-0 victory. The defensive line played great. They had good penetration all night. Tyler Toon from his defensive tackle position, Ryan Wade, Jonathan Altus, all had a great night from the defensive line.
Yeah, definitely no weak points for Franklin County. I mean, we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. It was William Fleming running a new scheme this year, but so it's always great to get that first win under the belt and get the huge confidence going, especially coming to a big Woodbridge game this coming up week.
That's right, and the other thing that we talked about being a big unknown for Franklin County is the loss of punter Bradley Rayburn. Didn't return to the Eagles team this year, but I tell you, Ethan Power stepped up, averaging 39.5 yards per punt. He had 2 punts on the night. I don't know if you remember what Bradley Rayburn averaged last year. 39.5 yards a punt.
39.5 yards.
Powers included a 50-yard boot that had about 10 yards on the bounce, but still a 50-yarder and a 29-yarder for Ethan Powers. So he really stepped in on the 2 punts for the Franklin County.
Also on the kickoffs. I mean, he was getting the air under the ball on the kickoffs, letting William Fleming starting a little bit closer to their end. I mean, really, Power did an amazing job in the field of possession battle.
That's right. 1 fumble recovery for Franklin County. That was by Tyler Toon. William Fleming only had 8 first downs. They ran 21 times for 32 yards, 10 of 20 through the air, threw 3 interceptions. That's 59 yards passing. So they had 41 plays for 91 yards, just over 2 yards a play. So Franklin County defense really stood up strong. They had 4 fumbles. They lost 1. 1 for 8 on 3rd downs, but they were 2 of 2 on 4th downs, but you really don't want to have to do that often. And they had 17.5 minutes time of possession. So Franklin County really had a great game against William Fleming, Justin.
Yeah. And one of those 4th down conversions was a fake punt deep in William Fleming territory to open up the game that caught Franklin County, and myself included, I mean, out of position. So really, and that was a big chunk of yardage, 7, 12 yards. So you take that away, and the stats get even worse for Fleming.
That's right. So the first game of the season in the books, Franklin County comes away with the 35-0 victory over William Fleming. They advance to 1-0 on the season. William Fleming drops to 0-1 and continues their woes in Roanoke. But Franklin County, more importantly, picking up full points in the power points for Virginia High School League, which is important, especially picking up full AAA points.
That's correct, Kevin. I mean, William Fleming can definitely help us by winning a couple games this year. So us as Eagles fans need to make sure William Fleming wins every other game this year except for the one against us.
That's right. It's another big game coming up this Friday night at home in Rocky Mount at Cy Dillon Stadium, a powerhouse AAA team in the Northwest region making the long trip south from Northern Virginia. They're going to be taking on Franklin County, and that's Woodbridge. And so we're going to talk about a little bit about them after the break. Welcome back to Inside the Eagles Nest. We just finished wrapping up the Franklin County-William Fleming matchup in Week 1, and now we're going to head to Week 2. Franklin County is going to return home to Cy Dillon Stadium to take on the Woodbridge Vikings. Justin, they've been down for the past 2 years, but they've always been a perennial power in the Northwest region.
Yeah, coming out of the Cardinal District, Kevin, always strong in the Northwest region. Go up against premier teams every year up north. Like you said, they've been down the past couple of years. I mean, barely over a 500 record. Last year was the first year in a while that they actually missed the playoffs, but really they have the talent that hardly any other team on our schedule has.
That's right. Franklin County traveled north in their second game of the season last year to take on Woodbridge at Woodbridge, and they jumped all over them early in the game. Got 2 quick touchdown passes. They went on to win that game. Franklin County did 21-14. But in the second half, Franklin County saw a completely different Woodbridge team. They came out ready to play, and just like last season, that was the first game of the season for Woodbridge, just like it is this year.
Yeah, I mean, Woodbridge is hungry. I mean, Franklin County's beat them twice in a row now. They really want to get that hurdle off their back. They have the #1 player in the class of 2014. I mean, their quarterback's coming back this year. Their running backs are coming back this year. They know how it felt to lose to Franklin County last year in their home field. They're looking to turn it up this year. I can only imagine.
That's right. You know, head coach Kevin Smith's going to have his team ready to play when they come down to Franklin County this season. Just a little quick stat from last year. When this Woodbridge team scored more than 20 points, they were 6-0. They scored less than 20 points, 0-4. So this Woodbridge team likes to put points up, and likes to put a lot of points up. And they really do that by spreading the field out, kind of what we saw from William Fleming, and using their speed. And really, a player that we saw last year was freshman quarterback Mike Majette. He's now a sophomore and just one more year wiser for this Woodbridge team.
Sophomore and battle-tested. I mean, you can only get better with experience. There's no going back on that, and he's going to be ready for Franklin County.
One of the big losses for Woodbridge from last year's team due to graduation, running back Darius Parsons. Big bruiser of a back he had offers to places like Syracuse, places like that. He got hurt in the game, but he still muscled through it and had a good game for Woodbridge. But his running back, the main guy this year, is going to be Jalen Event, 3-year starter on the varsity squad for Woodbridge, and head coach Kevin Smith. But we're also going to see LeVar Francis and Quifio, who we saw last year. He's another speedster. Franklin County, they're going to see speed, more speed this year, just like they did last year. Everett Edwards, another D1 prospect at cornerback, is going to play a little bit of receiver. And Logan Farrar and Josh Griffin, the other receivers for Woodbridge. They're really going to spread it out and try to use their speed, like William Fleming tried to do against Franklin County.
Only difference is Woodbridge is loaded with Division I talent. I mean, and they know they're Division I talent, so it's going to be a test.
That's right. On the defensive side, you have to start out with defensive lineman Deshaun Hand. Didn't have a good game against Franklin County last year. Franklin County also had an amazing offensive line, but I tell you, from what we saw against William Fleming, taking into consideration it is William Fleming, but Alvino Matthews, Jack Boone, Chris Luckett, Josh Stone, everybody else on the offensive line really stepped up. So they're going to have to do it again against Deshaun Hand, #1 player in the class of 2014 in the country.
Yeah, in the country. I mean, that's Rivals, that's 24/7 Sports, that's ESPN. Everybody has him ranked #1. And like you said, I mean, we didn't call his name much last year. He wasn't there, but Franklin County's interior line was dominant. This year, I mean, Matthews showed a great game against William Fleming. He might have been, behind Christian Witcher, the all-star on the offensive side. But we need to get that middle right there, stick them together, and just run it up their throat until they can't take it anymore.
That's right. Deshaun Hand, 21 sacks last year. So if Franklin County decides to put the ball up, he's definitely going to be a force on the defensive line. Also on the defensive line, Arian Herod and Randy Kuma, on the defensive line. Then you have Francis, Marcus Boone, Ben Funny, Mark Jones, and Anthony Rosati are going to be the linebacker core. So once again, they like to envelope and put a lot of guys in the box. And that's what it's going to take against Franklin County in this rushing attack.
Oh yeah, and with the misdirection offense, I mean, we can kill Woodbridge with their own speed. I mean, Christian Witcher, like I said in the previous segment, did an awesome job with his fakes in the misdirection before. Oh, we don't even know if Christian Witcher's coming back out at quarterback this week. So, I mean, it's might be a whole different team for Franklin County.
I expect we will see Christian Witcher at quarterback.
Yeah.
But as far as the secondary goes, a lot of names that we talked about on the offensive side. Everett Edwards, he's the Division I prospect at cornerback. Mike Majette, the quarterback, will play some cornerback and safety. All these players really rotate in the secondary. Jalen Evan, Quifio, and Farrar, that's all the specialists on offense are the specialists in the secondary on defense, and they're really probably going to do a little bit better job covering the receivers and backs out of the backfield from Franklin County.
Definitely, Kevin.
Like you said, their speed can really hurt you at times too if you start to over pursue, and I think that's what Franklin County is going to look to capitalize on this week at Cy Dillon Stadium. Well, Justin, we always close out our segment, at least our second segment, but what's it going to take for Franklin County to be victorious come the end of the game Friday night?
I mean, Franklin County is going to have to play mistake-free football. They're loaded with talent. I mean, but at the same time, a lot of those guys are playing on both sides of the ball. Franklin County ran 53 plays against William Fleming. If we can keep that rushing momentum up, I mean, get 3 yards a carry. If we get 3 yards a carry, I mean, that's a first down. And we're going to keep chalking it up, tear down Woodbridge like we did against William Fleming. They got really tired in the second half. And if we could do that, Franklin County will come out victorious.
So what's it going to take for Woodbridge to come out and be victorious in this game?
I mean, Woodbridge, they're just going to have to want it more. Franklin County's defense this year is solid, more solid than it was last year. And really, Woodbridge has a lot of people coming back on offense. So Franklin County needs to not over-pursue with the speed that they have, keep everybody at home, and make sure everybody comes through in effect. What about you, Kevin? What does Franklin County have to do to win?
I think just for some reason, I think it's going to come down to a big special teams play for Franklin County. It's either going to be a big kickoff return, a big punt return, possibly a field goal or a punt. But I think at some point in the game, a big special teams play is really going to vault Franklin County over Woodbridge.
Well, that's a definite wild card. What do you think? What does Woodbridge have to do to win?
I think Woodbridge can't beat themselves. One thing that really helped Franklin County last year when they traveled and played Woodbridge at Woodbridge was the turnovers. Bad snaps from center, fumbles,
penalties,
really costly personal foul penalties on kickoff return for touchdown. So really Woodbridge really helped Franklin County beat them last year, and I think Woodbridge needs to not beat themselves to come out victorious.
I mean, sounds like you know what you're talking about, Kevin. I mean, breathtaking.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We could be completely wrong, but I think Franklin County and Woodbridge this Friday night at Cy Dillon Stadium, big matchup, not only for the two teams, but for the Northwest region.
Like you said in the first segment, Kevin, big power points. These AAA teams that we have on the schedule, we need to beat them while we can. I mean, last year Woodbridge hurt us a little bit because they only won 6 games last year. We were really banking on those to try to get some home playoff games. But we got one, and so we just need to make the most of it.
That's right. Woodbridge is going to win games this year. I'm going to go out on a limb there with the number 1 defensive player, all the D1 prospects.
And he's only a junior.
Only a junior.
Only a junior. Yep.
Well, anything else you got to say either from last week or this week?
I hope the same Franklin County team that came out last week comes out this week.
I do too, and I also hope that you Franklin County fans will come out this week. 7 o'clock kickoff, Cy Dillon Stadium, same place, same time. Great atmosphere. We hope to see Cy Dillon Stadium packed out in the red and white this week.
Definitely.
As always, I'm Kevin Tosh, FC Insider. You can tune in for some tweets during the week. This is Justin Hall, 04. Really tune in to him for the game update tweets. I found it very difficult to tweet during the game. Too many things going on at one time in the booth. But follow him for in-game tweets. And also check back on Inside the Eagles Nest. We're going to start doing things a little bit differently, keying in on our podcasts and really promoting some of our area media. Steve Marsh does a phenomenal job with the Franklin News Post as far as his articles and his history. So we want you to travel over to the Franklin News Post to read a lot of his articles. He does a really great job. Also go to Virginia Preps. Anything and everything you want to know about Virginia High School League, football, baseball, basketball, whatever. So they're good places. So we're really going to key in on our podcasts and our tweets. So we hope that you enjoyed it, and we will see you next week and hopefully see you this Friday night at Cy Dillon Stadium.